Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're just getting started here. Few more minutes. Hello, Manish Bhaiya.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, it's so nice to have all of you join us this Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. All right, it's 5 p.m. Pacific time. Let's get started. So hello everyone. Welcome to the STEAM in AI Inner Circle live lab, where we bring you insider conversations with Silicon Valley AI professionals, STEAM in AI graduates, admission officers, as well as education counselors to help you navigate this AI career and college jungle. And a lot of students are learning AI today, as you know, but very few are actually able to turn that into a Silicon Valley startup backed by Y Combinator. And so today we are going to unpack what that actually looks like step by step. Are you with me? So let's come on, hop on this wonderful journey with Rohil Agarwal. Welcome, Rohil.
What's up, guys? Hello. Thank you so much.
I'm super excited to, talk to this young professional, young guy who is also, I was going to tell this towards the end, but he's also my nephew. And so I'm very proud of him. I've seen him since he was born and have seen him now turn into a young professional, responsible adult. And so very happy to share the stage with you, Rohil, tonight.
Yeah, same here. I'm really excited, to share my journey. And yeah, hopefully can help everyone out.
Yes, I'm sure you're such an inspiration for the next generation. So let's start from where it all began. So before Berkeley, before Google, what were you like in middle and high school?
Yeah, for sure. So my whole life I've really loved science and technology, and I love making the learning process fun. Just having fun while learning, do everything that I can while having a smile on my face. And um like when I was young, I started doing robotics. That's something that I continued throughout the rest of high school, and I feel like that was one activity that made me just really interested in engineering and problem solving in general. And yeah, so in middle school, I started joining a lot more clubs, taking a lot more interest in school. Um, and yeah, I got to high school. One thing that I always have loved doing is just going deep into just different topics that I like. So on YouTube, I'd watch a lot of science videos. Um, and yeah, that all just inspired me to continue learning, continue building fun things.
Awesome. So you are always a problem solver. Would you call yourself that?
I would say that when there is a problem in my way, I'll figure out my way around it. And if that means that I'm a problem solver, then yeah, I guess so.
So you are able to move boulders out of your way.
Uh, I yes, I work my best to get them out of my way and get to where I want to be.
Wow, that's inspiring. So like never give up, keep on pushing the limits and trying to overcome all obstacles that come in your way. That's a great quality to have, to be persistent towards your goal. So what do you think was your first real exposure towards AI?
Um, so I think my first real exposure to AI was in robotics itself. So over there, I was in a program called and they originally had First Lego League, which was it was a robotics competition with Legos where you would work with Mindstorm when we were pretty little, and then I moved to FTC, which is First Tech Challenge, and over there you're making 12-inch by 12-inch by 12-inch robots that move on a 12-foot by 12-foot square and are doing different tasks. And over there on FTC, I was the lead programmer. And the first 30 seconds of each match is called autonomous, where you are basically programming the robot to do something without a robot controller. And in autonomous mode, there's sometimes different variations that you don't know about in the game before it begins, and you need to somehow scan your surroundings with your robot so that it
Hmm.
can intelligently figure out what to do. And it was a big coding task over there, obviously a big hardware task because it was robotics, but I was working mostly on programming. And over there, I was working with different things like computer vision, trying to detect different objects and move the robot over there. And that was like really fulfilling. I thought it was really cool. It was a game too. And it was just cool that the lines of code that I was writing on my laptop could turn into something magical.
So amazing.
Yeah,
And where autonomous vehicles and AI has brought this today, it's mind-boggling, right? Like
exactly.
autonomous cars, like they can
Yeah,
park on their own and they can take turns on their own.
yeah, it's
Wow,
wild.
it
Yeah,
is wild. And so you have also been a co-president of the Data Ethics for All AI Youth Council, right, Rohit? Rohil, and you didn't just learn AI, you taught courses, led hackathons, and even helped us build the community. So how do you think that experience helped shape your thinking as well as your learning?
yeah, I think the Data Ethics for All Youth Council was great because we were teaching students about the impacts of AI and technology. And I think that having literacy in tech is one of the most important things today. And one thing that I'm really passionate about is just giving back to the community in the form of education. A lot of my work earlier in high school was in educational technology, like ed tech, using tech for education. And data ethics was the perfect outlet for this as well. So over there, I was working with the rest of the team and making courses, teaching students about how AI works in the first place and also how to use it in proper ways. And like how to use it in proper ways or like the ethics behind AI is very important. And it's something that I face every day today as well. And I mean, we'll get to what I'm working on now later on in the conversation, but um, like how data flows in these systems, who has access to different data, and all of those are like modern problems that everyone in the world is trying to solve, right? And like data ethics for all is a great outlet for that. To teach others and also learn myself about how to be conscious about how we're making AI systems like in a good way for society.
Yeah, and giving back to the community, as you said, is a passion of yours and giving it through education. And so that was the perfect platform, perhaps, that married both of your passions.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the first things that we did in Data Ethics for All was we hosted a hackathon. And I think that competitions like that are so rewarding because you're having a lot of fun hacking on different ideas, but you're also learning a ton. And data ethics for all was like an outlet where we could actually make that happen, get students to actually start building different projects. And then now I know like with the summer programs and all, like kids are working on their own projects. Um, but yeah, like every event that I tried to host over there in data ethics, I tried to make like as engaging as possible so that students are having fun while learning.
Yeah. You did an excellent job at that
Thank you.
with your co-presidents, yes. And working with peers and leaders, of different ages, it's not easy. So let's shift gears a little bit. You got into UC Berkeley's MET program. For people who don't know, MET stands for Management, Entrepreneurship, and Technology. And it is one of the most selective programs there are. And it's only 50 seats. Am I correct, Roel?
Yeah, it is.
That is just mind-boggling by itself. Like 50 seats. from the world. Like, can you imagine a program where, Berkeley has thousands of students admitted per year, and here there is a program which is not only, and you have to get into MIT, you have to have some kind of engineering major, and this is on top of that. Like, give us for people who don't know enough, like, tell us what UC Berkeley MIT is, the program.
Yeah, for sure. So, MET, as you were saying, it stands for the Management, Entrepreneurship, and Technology Program. And in the program, it combines engineering plus business. So, I believe that there's 8 different majors in engineering, and you pair that with the Haas School of Business. So, at Berkeley, I was doing EECS, which is like electrical engineering and computer science plus business. And it's a great program to learn about all sorts of things. So everyone who goes to this program, usually they're very interested in entrepreneurship and starting their own company. And as soon as I got to Berkeley, I felt that like talking to everyone around me and the Berkeley ecosystem over there, especially being very close to Silicon Valley and like the clubs at Berkeley and the people that we talk to, everyone is really supercharged towards startups and just making a difference in the world. And um, yeah, I think MET is just a great place for combining like the practical knowledge of engineering plus like business skills to actually make something that changes the world.
So EECS itself is a very hard major to get into, and on top of that, MET is even harder. So, what do you think made your application stand out? What do you allocate your success of that to?
Um, I think that so it's a few different things. Let's start from before college apps, and then I can talk a bit about college apps.
Yeah.
Is that in middle and high school, I tried to just go really deep into the things that I loved, right? And one big part of that was like education and giving back in education. So one like form of that was me being part of the Data Ethics for All Youth Council, where I was creating these courses for others. There was other avenues where I did this, where I worked on a couple of different apps in high school. One of them was called Fizzy Fun. It was like this app that basically gamified the whole process of learning physics. Because one thing that I saw in my physics class was that like when I saw these formulas in class, like I would like visualize them in my head, and it would be a whole puzzle that I just had to solve. And I love solving puzzles, right? And I wanted like others to view like physics the same way. So that's why like I created Fun, which is a way to like visualize these different formulas, which was pretty cool. And like that's just an example of a project that I kind of worked on the side, just because I thought it was really cool and fun. And then it turned out to be a bit bigger because I submitted it for an app challenge called the Congressional App Challenge, and then won that. And then also in high school, I did a bit of like research in educational technology as well. It was at a summer program called Young Scholars Program at FSU, which was pretty cool as well. Over there, I was working on like using federated learning to basically predict academic success. And in general, like to get back to your question, just because I had an interest in giving back to the community and education. A lot of my extracurricular just naturally lended itself to that. And I was able to make like a very compelling story in my actual college apps of like bringing these all together under like educational technology. And so you're asking about like how to get into MET or how to get into programs like this. I think it's very important to number one, do something that you love. And number two is you should have some sort of story that weaves everything together. Which is what my dad likes to call the hub and spoke method, which is where you have some sort of hub, which is a common trend amongst the things that you're doing, and each spoke from that hub is like a different activity. And I don't think that people need to over engineer all the extracurriculars that they're doing. I think that you should do what you love and you'll naturally figure out what that trend is amongst all your different activities. Like, for example, during my college applications, I was like bewildered that everything that I did kind of matched up to educational technology. And in my college apps, I that's like when I realized, oh, like I really love ed tech in general. It wasn't that I knew that I loved ed tech and then did all these different things. I like learned a lot about myself in that process. And then the last thing that I'll say is that in my college apps, I feel like I just tried to be as raw and authentic as possible. I made like a lot of jokes in my college apps. I didn't try to like over engineer it to like just put different extracurriculars into different prompts. I just tried to be myself, and I think that pays off not only in college apps but like in the real world in general.
Wow, that I think you brought up some really good points, Rohil. So one is that you do things that you love, don't go after the quantity of things, but the quality of things and things that you're passionate about. Two things that you are able to create a coherent story around, like even if they look disseparate, disjointed, when you're doing them, think about when you're putting them together for college applications, think about a common theme on of how you can weave the entire story together and make your theme coherent. The coherent story is definitely is what admission officers are looking for and things that stand out, right? Um,
Yeah, for sure.
so yes, GPAs and test scores are important, but they are definitely looking for people who want to give back, who have done something, demonstrated interest. Like in your case, you clearly had not only showed that you have a love and passion for problem solving and engineering, but you demonstrated that through your actions, activities all around. And it was not just a checkbox on your resume for the sake of college admissions. It showed throughout, like you've already mentioned, three or four of the projects that you did or activities long term throughout the school. So very cool. That is what probably made you apart from all the other thousands of applicants out there. Um, so what else? Your major and your AI future, how do we connect? So big question that, today's parents are asking with everything that is going around with AI. People are scared and they don't know whether, their kid or student should be studying AI in college. Will data science and CS, does it have a future anymore? What will that look like in the next 3, 5, or 10 years? Will it all be prompt engineering and CS will be dated and nobody will need real programmers anymore? And we will all be just doing vibe coding. And yes, we have broken down barriers of entry to technology and coding. What are your thoughts? Does studying computer science still make sense in the age of AI?
I think regardless of where the world goes, being a problem solver is always going to first make you money and then or actually no, not first make you money. Being a problem solver will always be important and it'll always somehow like allow you to make money, right?
Mm,
So I think computer science in nature is really cool because or at least at Berkeley, it's taught within the engineering school. So it teaches you how to think well and how to think through different problems. And maybe the actual computer science itself, um, like won't fundamentally be helpful in every single thing that you're doing in the future, but the way of thinking is very important and you use it every single day. And I don't think computer science is the only major where you learn like problem solving. You can do this in almost any major, right? But I think one thing that's good about engineering in general is that it teaches you to think like very
yeah.
rationally and practically through problems and approach them in different ways. So um for example, like in AI today, I don't think that you're not being a solver by using AI in your workflow. As in, it's fine to vibe code, but you should know what you're doing, and you should know, like you shouldn't just be prompting irrationally to solve different problems, but if you can think analytically about what you want to do, what steps you need to do to get there, and you can use the tools around you to get there, then I think that's very rational. Um, as in, I think if you're not using AI in your workflow, you're shooting yourself in the foot because it's a great tool to learn a lot. Um, and like that brings another point is that AI in general, like at least at the beginning of using it, I don't think people um should just prompt it to do random things. I think that people should prompt it to explain to them how to do different things, and then people can use the AI to also help them do it. Um, for example, like I know some people are going into like making their own products without having a good technical understanding of what's going on. And they will end up like in a rabbit hole at some point um if they don't have like at least a high level understanding of how to build these different systems. So if you can leverage AI to learn, I think that that's a really good skill. I view it just like as when the internet came out for the first time, the internet was just a tool to democratize how to get information, right? And just by using the web, you aren't like cheating, right? As in the previous or how people got information before that was reading books, right? Or
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's reading books, magazines, or whatever. I don't think it's cheating by using the web. You can use it to your advantage to move faster and learn more and keep progressing. And I think AI is in just the same vein.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing are two school of thoughts. One, become a natural problem solver. Like, don't use AI for the sake of using AI, but use it to solve a problem that you already want to solve and use AI as a tool. And if you have developed a problem solving mindset, it doesn't matter today it's AI, it could be something else tomorrow, or no matter where AI goes, if you whether you are a CS major or a data science major or a non-STEM major, problem solving is everywhere. It's used every day around you in life, in any vertical, any industry, any role. So if you have that, you will excel. And number two, use AI for learning, for self-learning. Don't just use it to mindlessly, because it can do things for you. Don't just use it to
Yeah,
let it do things for you, but use it to help you understand, and ask it to explain concepts deeper, and build a more deeper understanding of what you are trying to do and how you're trying to do. I think both of those are really great points.
yeah.
Do you think coding will become less valuable? And this is a two-part question. One, do you think coding will become less valuable 3 or 5 years down the lane? And number two, what skills, according to you, will not be automated?
Um, so I like to distinct coding and programming. And
Okay.
coding is the actual act of like writing code, and programming I think is actually figuring out what you need to do, how to get there, and code is often part of it, right? So I think that in the future it could be the case that coding can be done with AI for the most part, right?
Mm, mm,
I think that programming is still a very, very important skill that people should have. And programming is more problem solving in general. Um, but also like it relates to code in how we view it. But I think those are two distinct skills. And um like right now living in SF, everyone around us is using AI to write code, right?
mm.
But people are still orchestrating these systems, and I think that's a very important skill to have, to know what to even do, know what to write. So to your point, I think maybe code might be stopped or, like may reduce in people writing it by hand, right? And I've already seen that. Like many people around me are not writing code by hand. They're
Like the
still
syntax, they don't need to learn the syntax per se.
exactly the syntax, right? Like
Yeah,
people are not writing code by hand, but they're
yeah.
still orchestrating these agents, and I think that's going to be important for a while.
Yeah, and to your point, people who understand what they are trying to do can also identify, and we are going to come to that to your thing also in a bit. So they can actually see what errors the agents have made, and people who have no clue, they will not know what the agent, even silent error or known error, they will not be able to tell that, right? So yes, I know this is a segue into but I'm jumping to another section because this is a perfect segue into tell us what your startup does, Royal. And then we will go back to some other part of your story.
Yeah, for sure. So we are the context company and we're working on monitoring for AI agents. And what that means is, um, what we do is we help companies who have AI agents in production to understand how they're being used and the patterns across all their conversations between their users and their agents and how to actually fix it. So like in AI agents, like now there's a new type of failures which are like silent failures. And earlier, like in our technical systems, your system would just throw like an error code whenever something goes wrong, right? But now with AI agents and LLMs in general, things can go wrong even without the system breaking under the hood,
Warning you. Yeah.
right? So that's like a very tough problem that like the world is facing as a whole. And like the context company, what we're building is working on finding where these silent failures are happening and also other trends of interest across all these conversations and relaying that context to teams to make their agents better. So like a small example of this would be a lot of teams are using us to understand where their users are getting like frustrated or confused with their agent and what topics these are happening in. And with that knowledge, they can actually go into their agent and like hyper optimize it for those use cases.
Amazing. And so this is the future, the observability for AI agents, that's the future.
Um, so I will say that recently we've been straying a bit away from using the word observability for our
Okay.
company. And
Okay.
the reason why is because I think observability has the connotation of just like technical observability or just looking through like logs, traces, and metrics. But
Okay.
we're looking at patterns at a much like higher level than that as well. And that's why we use the word monitoring for AI agents now. And I think it is really important. I might be biased here, but we've seen that it is important with our customers because they need to see why are their users using their product and how can I make it better for them. And it all comes down to the fundamental reason that people should build what people or you should build what people want, right? And
True.
if your customers are using your agent for some specific reason, you should double down on that and make it better for that. And another like big thing that we're doing at the context company is we're trying to make these agents better based off of production use cases. Basically like self-healing agents, um but it's in a loop where we can see where things are going wrong in production and bring that context to teams and their coding agents to make those agents better. And and yeah, I think that that loop or like that feedback loop, making that as quick as possible is very important in our world.
Makes sense. Yes. And I see a giant telescope in your living room there. So what's the story?
Yeah, so this is like our company mascot slash motto. We so we went through the last YC or Y Combinator batch in fall 25, and we were making a launch video, and Armand and I, my co-founder, we've always been like deeply obsessed with space as well, and we always wanted a telescope, and we're doing like monitoring slash observability for these agents. So this telescope is like a metaphor for how we're looking into these systems. So we bought it for our launch video as like a cool visual metaphor.
Well, awesome. And
Yeah.
I've seen some fun videos of you and Arman and just you on LinkedIn too, with like, all of that, like playing with the telescope and also
Yeah.
when yeah, so there was this moon, yeah, awesome videos, and you're a master at that. I've seen you build videos since you were in high school, like changing the shirt and all that. And I always ask for tips from you for videos as well. So amazing talent. Let's go back to your Berkeley days for a bit here. And I know that in the first year of your Berkeley, as soon as you started, you built an app. You want to tell us more about that? I don't want to give it away to our audience.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so I'll give some context over here and then tell you guys what the app was.
Yeah.
So, I've been taking a selfie every single day, since January 1st of 2023. So it's been, a bit over 3 years now.
At that time, you were a junior in high school?
I started when I was a junior in high school. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm sure that you guys have seen these types of videos where people take a selfie every day and they make a time lapse out of them all to show their change over time. So I tried making one of those videos. So after the first year of taking one selfie every day, I sat down to compile this video, and it was so annoying because my face was in like a different location, position, and angle in every single photo. So when I tried to make a time lapse out of them all, it just like looked physically jarring, as in my face was moving, and I wanted it to be in the same exact place on every frame. So that first year when I compiled the video, I sat down on my laptop for no joke, like 8 hours,
Wow.
aligning each photo one by one on my laptop. And like in my head, I was just thinking there has to be a better way to do this because like there's no way that I have to sit here and realign each one by one. And that was just like an idea in my head for quite a while. But I never really acted on it until about 6 or 7 months later. Where it was the summer after my senior year of high school. So the summer between high school and college, where I just decided, okay, you know what? Like, I have this problem. I'm gonna have this problem in 6 months when I'm compiling this video again. Let me try to build an app that actually fixes this. And that was like the birth of this app that I built called Selfie Story. And what it does is it allows people to take a selfie of themselves every single day, and then it detects your face and your face landmarks and remaps them to a certain position. So it just automates the process of creating like engaging videos like that. And so I was reserved from building that for quite a while because I I thought that it would be very, very hard
Yeah.
originally. And I thought that I didn't have the skill set to do it, honestly. And what I realized much later when I started building it was that I can learn whatever the hell I want. You can just go online, search whatever you want, ask ChatGPT anything, and you can learn anything in the world. It just comes down to whether you have the drive to do it. And yeah, I'm really glad that I started working on that because that was the first like app that I've ever built. It was really fulfilling. I launched it on the App Store. It's available now as well. I still use it, and it was just really gratifying to see a lot of other people using it, like my friends, a lot of random people now too. And now there's, I believe, like around 3,000 people out there using the app to take one
Wow.
selfie every day.
Amazing, amazing. So yeah, please drop a link in the chat for our audience who wants to check it out. It's an amazing app, and if you ever want to use it to, take a picture a day and stitch it together and see what you look like in a year or 6 months or whatever, and different use cases also, please check out the selfie story on App Store available now.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
also the Context Company, please do check them out as well. Amazing. So after that experience, this was in the first year at UC Berkeley. Right after your first year summer in college, you were offered an internship at Google. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you land Google?
Yeah. I wish I had a better answer for this, honestly. I genuinely just so during my freshman year of college, I did the same internship grind that like everyone goes through, right? I had just applied to a bunch of internships. So at the time I was working on Selfie Story as well. So I was doing that concurrently for quite a while. And I'm not gonna lie, Google was the only interview that I got out of all of the hundreds of applications that I put in. So the day that I got an email for that interview, I was just like, okay, I have to lock in right now because because this is my one shot at getting an internship. So I scheduled the interview for 2 or 3 weeks into the future and just learned as much as I could. Between the day that I got the interview request and the actual interview. So in that time, I was just doing a lot of lead code, understanding a lot of like data structures and algorithms. I hadn't taken the class yet because I took DSA in second semester of college. So I got the interview before I even took that class. So I just learned as much as I possibly could. And um yeah, I mean it turned out great. I'm really happy that I got it. So at Google, I was working on the Gmail intelligence team. Um, I was working on the models behind analyzing scheduling intent in Gmail. If you guys have used Gmail before and have ever said something like, "Oh, let's meet up next week at X time," and if you've seen the button where it says "Add to Calendar," I was like the one behind the model to deduce whether to have that button or not. Um, that was like such a
Amazing. Wow.
powerful
I
work.
use that every day. It just automatically proposes like, oh, I see this. Do you want me to add this to your calendar?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so amazing. You worked on that? Wow.
Yeah, so I was working on actually the internationalization of that feature. So it's been out for English users for quite a while, but there are 8 other like P0 languages that we wanted to expand to. So I was working on bringing that to the rest of the world.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
so twice now you have mentioned that, while you were working on your selfie story app, you didn't know how to do it, but you did a lot of research and you went through a lot of learning. And then even for this, you said like the structures course, you had not even taken that before your interview for Google. So for both of those learnings, did you use AI?
Of course. A lot. Like I think AI is one of the greatest resources for learning, for
Yes.
education in general. As in, literally throughout the whole app building process, I was asking a bunch of questions to AI, and I wasn't asking it to generate code for me. I was just trying to understand how different things work. And mind you, like for Selfie Story, that was the first big project that I worked on, so I didn't even know a lot of the like primary like software engineering principles, and I just like learned a lot of that through asking a lot of questions as open-ended or specific as I wanted, like to ChatGPT at the time, and also watching a bunch of videos online. I think like online and AI is a great resource to learn. And yeah, like that's I mean, this is fundamentally why I was really interested in ed tech in the first place, like in high school and earlier, is because I think technology has an amazing power to democratize education, and AI is bringing us even closer to that. And I mean, I'm a product of that too. I use the web all day to learn new things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't know if you have heard this, but if you ask Elon Musk, like he built SpaceX and he's not a space engineer or anything like that, but if you ask him, like, how did you do that? And he very seriously, he'll tell you that he read a lot of books.
Hmm.
So yeah, in today's world, probably Elon is doing a lot of AI research to learn
Yeah.
things. All right, so you went from Berkeley to Google and now to a Y Combinator backed startup. So that is amazing. Like, tell us about your story. What was your idea originally? How did you pitch it to YC and how was Silicon Valley? prestigious combinator as the Y Combinator, the Y Accelerator accepted you guys, you think?
Yeah, so like I'd been working on agents for a few years, and especially at Google, I was working on scheduling intent and the models over
Yeah.
there. And my co-founder, he was at a startup called Mintlify, which is like one of the fastest growing startups in SF now as well. And he was working on observability for their agent over there. And I'll tell you the story in my perspective
Yeah.
um is that one thing that I noticed that might be pretty trivial is that in these agent systems, like at Google and also earlier, um, if there's slightly bad context going into these agents, then every step along its thinking process, that context kind of gets worse and worse,
Hmm.
which is something called context rot. And I mean, context rot plagues a bunch of our AI systems today. And yeah, like even earlier, like to connect this to something in high school, I was working on like federated models to predict academic performance. And what I was doing was I was trying to see whether students were underperforming in academics like early on in their careers so that we could actually give them extra resources like early before they start like really failing their classes. And I think it's really powerful to correct systems before like errors start propagating and getting really bad. So that was the fundamental reason why we started the Context Company. Um,
Hmm.
so the context company, we decided that we'd start in like observability and failure monitoring because we have to first see where these systems are going wrong to
Hmm.
actually fix the context that's going into them. So all of the work that we've been doing right now is like just figuring out these patterns at large on these AI systems and figuring out what to fix. And then once we know that, then we can move into actually how to fix these agents.
Yeah. And so, what do you think YC was excited like when you gave them the pitch? What was it that was the spark in your presentation? Was it your Google background or the fact that you were from Berkeley, MET, and also about your co-founder? I don't know enough, but yeah, so was it your idea or was it your background? I think they bet more on the people, so is what I've heard. So what do you think was the bet on?
Yeah, I think for pre-seed and seed investing in general, and also for accelerators, it's mostly the idea and team that people are betting on
Yeah.
because they know that you will pivot, you will change ideas, you'll realize something is wrong, you'll realize you need a different approach, but they're investing in people that are problem solvers and will actually continue to keep iterating to a better product. And I mean, YC's motto is make something people want, right? And they're just trying to find founders who have backgrounds that show that they'll be driven to working on this no matter what happens, no matter if they fail, they'll continue to keep working. And um so I don't think the idea matters too much um
So it's the
in
people.
investing at this stage, right? I think it's mostly investing in the people as founders and as problem solvers.
Yeah, so there goes back to your story, like be a sound problem solver, use AI as a tool to learn. And so you did not stay on the traditional path. You took a gap year, which was a big gamble and a big risk. We talked about how difficult it is to get into EECS
Mhm.
and then MET, and then we have not even talked about regions, how you were not only got into that, but you are a Regents scholar at UC Berkeley with scholarship. And so taking a gap year is a big gamble. And what are your plans? Are you planning to go back this year, this academic, like this fall, or stay the course with your startup?
Yeah, I mean, I have a different answer for my parents versus the rest of the world.
Your parents might be on the call. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, I mean, the thing is that what we're working on, I have a lot more conviction on every single day. What's great is that we've started moving into this direction with the context company that we're actually working on bringing context from production to teams to make their agents better. And it's something very powerful that our customers right now are starting to see. And I, as I was saying, I have a lot more conviction in this every single day. So I honestly haven't been thinking about school too much right now. I don't need to for a couple months, and um like I guess I'm like delaying the question a bit, but I I want to continue working on what I have conviction for. And if that, like, if it were the case that I have more conviction that I would be able to do more with the rest of my education, then I would go back to school. But as of right now, in the past couple of months and how things are going, I have a lot of conviction in the context company. And I in case my parents are on the call, that was a very convoluted way of answering this question, but I hope I give you the gist, you know?
I got the gist,
Yeah.
my friend. I got it. I'm not going to ask you anymore. Well, we wish you all the best, and we hope that the company does so well, and you can always go back to completing your degree whenever you want. But this takes off in ways you had never imagined. So, yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
leave it at that for now. So,
Yeah.
what does it actually mean to think like a builder? Hello?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
to think like a builder, I think it's just a recurring theme on this call, right? That you
yeah.
have to be a problem solver. And a big part of being a problem solver is knowing where problems exist. Um, in
Mm,
many cases, it's very easy to make up problems in your head or like look at someone's situation and think, oh, like this would be a better way to do it. But if you don't talk to them and just fundamentally understand why they're having an issue, you'll never create something of value to them. Um, so I think like to like be an entrepreneur, you have to like really dig into your customers and understand their pain points. And oftentimes they'll know their pain point, but they wouldn't even know how to approach solving it. And they'll give you different ideas and throw you into different areas. And you have to filter through all this noise to understand what is the fundamental problem and what is the best UX or like user experience that someone could have to fix this problem. And ideally, that problem is, what do they call it? Like, ideally, that problem is a huge problem, right?
mm.
That it's like
Unsolvable problem.
exactly unsolvable um, or just like terrible to deal with.
Moonshot, kind
Yeah,
of like very
exactly.
difficult. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I think a big part of like being a problem solver is understanding the problem like very deeply in the first place. Which I think is one of the harder parts of it because as an engineer, like you're always thinking, okay, like how do I solve different problems? And it's like very important to take a step back to understand like what am I solving? Why am I solving it? Who am I solving it for?
Mm.
Even like today at our company, after 8 months of working on it, we're still constantly thinking, okay, what is the exact ICP or like intended customer profile for a product? How exactly are we going to word this product to these different people to solve their problems? It's an ongoing thing at any company. Um, like if we were sitting here just shipping code every single day, I we wouldn't like go far because you can build the greatest product in the world, but if it's solving no one's problems, you're not gonna sell it.
True, very true.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true marketer. It's not like, oh, if you build it, they will come. Basically, what's in it for me, right? The customer has to feel like, oh, you are really solving my problem. It's not just, oh, look what I built and here you go. It's not like that. So
Exactly.
if there's a problem that it speaks to me, I will be here to listen. So amazing story so far, Rohil. And I know that we could go on and on. There's just so much, so many more things to your story that we haven't even covered yet. Um, so amazing to see what you are building and where it's going. Another question for you, how early can students start to be doing all this, like building products or problem solving, things like that? How early do you think they can start?
It's never too early. Like I
I knew you would say that.
as in I just think that if you're interested in something, if you realize that there's some problem, like you should go out there and just like forget about any limitations in the world and just try to solve it, or just try to think about approaches and how to solve it too. um I mean, like I think that if someone is interested in something, like they should just go deep into it. Like that's how you change the world.
Yeah. And so, if a 13 or a 17-year-old is listening right now to your story, what inspiration should they take? What should they start doing right now, this year, right now?
So right now I would say is, like, I'm sure all of you guys have many interests, right? Like, figure out what in the world interests you, whether that be music or video games or I don't know, like drawing or anything, right? And just like think about what you can do in the world to either solve someone's problems in this area, or maybe like teach other people about it, or just learn a lot more and like just go really deep. I think going deep into different topics is like something that's so rewarding for yourself and also for just learning constantly. Um, I don't think that like you need to solve a problem while you're 13 or 17 or 25 or whatever, but I think it's really important to just keep learning. Like put yourself in situations where you are learning as well. Like talk to your friends about like cool topics, and yeah, just keep your mind and ears open always.
Hmm. And
Oh,
so,
and
what?
also wait,
Yes,
one
yes.
more thing is just have fun in everything that you do. Like that's the most important thing, is that if you're having fun, you're gonna win. You're gonna win in life. Like if you're having fun, because you'll genuinely enjoy doing uh what you want to. Um yeah, I think like above anything, just make sure to keep a smile on your face and like keep going through it.
Yeah, because those experiences will be much more meaningful for you if you are enjoying the
Exactly.
journey,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, awesome. So, what are most parents getting wrong right now about preparing their kids for the future, according to you?
Uh so like I think the biggest thing parents get wrong is that like more extracurriculars are gonna like get you further. Or I'm talking in the context of college first.
For
Is
high
that
school students?
yeah,
Yeah,
for high school and middle school
yeah,
students. As in I don't think that more extracurriculars or anything will get you further.
yeah.
Um, I think like I've been saying this a lot, but I just like wanted to internalize is that uh like having just doing something deep in something that someone loves, and solving some problem is really cool and rewarding. And the thing is that if you look at a lot of these college applications online, you'll see like, oh, there's like Olympic like math Olympiad people, there's like science Olympiad people and all this stuff. But there's also so many people who are not doing that who still get into top colleges, right? Like you don't have to like do what everyone conventionally calls cracked. Like you can do many other things and still get into top colleges and go very far in life. Like it doesn't have to be like strictly academic either. Um, yeah.
So, what should they focus on instead?
What they should focus on is just any interest you have, just try to find some way to impact the community with that interest. For
Mm,
example, for me, it was giving back in the form of education, right? I worked on that app, a couple other things to do this, and also joined the Data Ethics for All Council to do that, right? Um, for any interest that other people have, they should figure out ways to impact the community with that interest. You don't have to do something that you don't like to do. For me, like I loved education, and that's why at school I went really deep into like the math club as well, and like starting the tutoring program over there. I just thought it was really rewarding for myself, and it was also making an impact on the community. So I don't think that something that you love and impacting the community or problem solving is all mutually exclusive. Like you can
Mm,
just figure out one thing that does them all.
yes. And Steam in AI can also help you develop a personalized AI project around that, marrying your passion, your interest, as well as your career path. Awesome. So, and for our audience, if you have any questions for Rohil or me, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A or in the chat. We have a few more minutes left, and we'll be happy to take your questions. In the meantime, Rohil, I want to keep on going with this. So, if a student wants to go from I'm interested in AI to I have built something meaningful, like you started with something like interested in AI, built one app, but now you've built a whole startup that is backed by Y Combinator, and you left your, at least took a gap year to go and build something that you are passionate about and you believe in it. And I truly believe in that in your story, saying, like, if the founder doesn't believe in the product themselves or in their idea, nobody else is going to believe in you. And so, what kind of support or environment would someone need actually to become successful, to take an idea to a product level?
Um, so so there's two things, like two different answers, I guess. Like the first is uh surround yourself with people that you aspire, like who are like inspirations to you. um like you are the average of the five people around you, right? Like that's a common saying. I think that it's very important to find friends or family or anyone around you who will, first of all, like they'll inspire you, like they're doing really cool things, but it goes both ways, where like you guys each strive for excellence with each other and you guys are constantly helping each other out. I think like one thing that I've been really lucky for in life in general is that I have a very strong friend group, and all of us like consistently are helping each other out, like to get further in life. And like I think this goes back to I just don't ever think that it's uh like in your benefit to be overly competitive in like middle or high school. I think it's good to share opportunities with others because others will naturally do that with you, and you guys will all get better together. And then secondly, um no matter what your environment is, like you can still learn consistently. So um even without like a support group or um all these other resources, you still have the web. Like you still have like AI as well. You can learn whatever you want online. Um you you can like you can go online, you can DM random people. Like people are very receptive to helping out on the internet as well. Like if you just go to Twitter and just like DM anyone you want, it's just like just take moonshots. Just reach out to random people. If you have an idea of where you want to be, just every day you should be doing something that gets
Make
you
it
closer
happen.
over there. Yeah.
So what Rohil is saying is, folks, there is no excuse. Don't put your failures onto someone else. There is no excuse for not trying, at least, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. We have two questions. Yeah, great to see Rohil grow in a passionate entrepreneur and great role model for our younger ones. Yes, that is, though both of those are true. And now I have, hi Rohil, amazing stories. Did you ED at UCB, MET? Did you go early decision?
MET doesn't have an early
Yeah.
decision. So then at MET, how it works is that you apply by the regular UC Berkeley deadline, and then there's a separate essay for MET, and like due 15 days later, and then you also have to submit a video essay where you talk about everything that you've done. Um, so no, it was not an ED.
Yeah. UCs don't have ED, I think.
Yeah, they don't have ED
understanding.
or
Yeah.
EA, I'm pretty sure. Like I think it's just regular
Regular,
for them all.
the regular
Yeah.
round, yeah. Okay, so one more anonymous question. What do you need to like strive in life? Qualities and passions.
Wait, this, what do you need to strive in life?
Ah,
Um, Qualities and passion. Like literally a passion for anything. It doesn't have to be like tech related. It doesn't have to be education related. Like if you have a passion for something, you should
just
just
go
like
for it.
yeah, yeah. I wish I could give a better answer, but yeah,
You have been giving that answer all along, like follow your passion, try to learn things, give back to the community. I
yeah.
think those are the ways you strive in life. Have a great group of friends, the five people that surround you. You have given all good advice, Rohil. Awesome. Any question? Last, we have 1 more minute, and yes, we can say bye, but do you have any parting question for me?
Any wait, I didn't think about this yet.
Yeah, I know. And we are at 6. So maybe I was going to leave time for you to be able to ask me questions. But yes, for everyone who's joined us today, and thank you. Thank you, Rohil, for this wonderful conversation, insider conversations. Getting to know a person like you is like really, I enjoyed this conversation. And thank you, everyone, for joining us and being with us here tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Roel, you want to ask me?
Um, yeah, like um, so what's like your end vision with STEAM and AI and data ethics for all?
End vision? Am I
Yeah.
dying?
Or what's your grand vision? Grand vision.
Grand vision. Okay. Okay. No, no. Both are good. Like you, I also try to give back to the community, and I think that's the biggest motivator and driver for me as well. I want to be able to break barriers of entry into AI and technology for the economically disadvantaged and people. One is the economically disadvantaged, and the other sector is even if they can afford it, I think the counselors and people who, for lack of knowledge, they don't encourage students to like take on more that they can. Like, there is a myth again that, STEM careers are only for people who are good at math or who like coding, and others who have either not taken math or math plus and advanced math courses should not even go into those kind of careers for lack of not being successful. Like they don't want to set them up for failure. But I think that's the wrong myth. Everybody today has the opportunity to take on careers that are more fulfilling as well as better paying. And if that's something that you're passionate about, you have a desire to do. I want STEAM and AI and data ethics for all be able to break those barriers for people, create these role models so people can see, hey, if this person can do it, I can do it as well. If this person from where they started, they got into where they are today, I can do that as well. And so that's what motivates me every day.
Yeah. And then one last question is that
Yeah.
so I was part of the Data Ethics for All Council in my high school. So like it was probably around 4 years ago. So
Mhm.
I'm sure that like things have changed quite a bit between then and now. So like what does it look like now? Um
Yeah, it has changed quite a bit. First, the Presidential Volunteer Service Award by AmeriCorps has been shut down. Like basically, they don't are not awarding the PVSA award anymore, so it's on hold. And so our whole premise that not only we are creating leaders but giving volunteering opportunity, and like like our volunteers earn the gold, silver, bronze PVSA awards is on hold now, so that they cannot do, but there's still leadership opportunities, things to work with other peers and leaders across the globe. We have members from 71 countries in the world in our community. We are doing a lot of work with other nonprofits such as the Boys and Girls Club, if you have heard about them. They have like 5,000 plus clubs across the nation. So yeah, definitely all of the AI Youth Council leaders have opportunity to, create curriculum, work with these leaders, peers, and yeah, so we're
Yeah.
working
You
on
were
that.
wait, earlier you were also talking like a bit more about the summer program, right? Uh
Yeah.
so like what does that look like? Because I also did like a couple summer programs in high school. I would have loved if this was around. But yeah, what does it do?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for asking. So what it does is basically, you know how there are programs where you learn coding, and then there are programs that say that, it's mentor led, but basically they have students who are teaching the program. So we have a unique program where, first of all, it was designed by someone who taught AI at Stanford to professionals in Silicon Valley as an adjunct. So, understanding the needs, I used to teach as an adjunct Stanford professor. And then we are not only bringing AI into that, we are actually bringing the design thinking methodology, the entrepreneurship, as well as the basics of AI. But most and fundamentally important, ethics is in the DNA of the program. So we are actually learning and teaching the students on building responsible AI. And then it's personal create helping them create personalized AI project with industry mentors. Our mentors are from Google, NVIDIA, Roblox. Yeah, so it's a great privilege to be able to work one on one with such mentors from the industry and build a personalized AI project. We don't do cookie cutter projects. We basically look at what the student has done, like in terms of activities, what are their interests. Like I'll give you examples. So somebody who volunteered in a senior home physically, who went and volunteered, and he was like, okay, what can I do with this? Didn't even know. When I was asking him, like, what kind of ideas for the projects, he's like, no, I don't have any idea. And then I said, okay, tell me more about what you have done in terms of your activities and stuff. He's like, I used to volunteer for, the senior home, but that I did that only for a short time. And then we helped him build a project around that with AI for solving the problem. And
Mm.
yeah, while I was probing him more, like, what did you do actually for the seniors? And he's like, oh, I helped them with technology. Okay. And what were some themes that they came to you repeatedly for? And he was like, yeah, they mostly came to me for their emails. And so we helped him create an AI agent for emails that would help solve the problem for seniors. Like with voice activated, they could say like, read the last three emails for me, or move the email into my, this folder or that folder, or send an email to my granddaughter that I will be able to attend their birthday party. And the student got into USC business and AI. And he had nothing to show, like no demonstrated interest. He was a senior when he came to us the last summer between the junior and the senior. So those are the kind of personalized AI projects we are able to help our students build, that marries their interests, activities, and their future career goals.
It's like the hub and spoke that
Yes,
talking about
that your
earlier,
dad
right?
said.
Like, yeah. So like, wait, where can like I'm sure that there's students like on the call right now too, right? So like, where should they find more information about it?
Yes, they can go to steaminai.org. I can drop a link in the chat. Yeah, and that will be steaminai.org. Let me put that in. And you can learn more about it. We start advise people to start with a free 45-minute consultation where we will actually help you evaluate if Steam in AI is the right program for you. And if it is, we'll also help you build a personalized AI project, find the right mentor, and help you build it.
Cool.
Awesome. This has been a fantastic conversation, Rohil. I'm sure we'll have many more. Thank you, everyone, again for joining us. Take care. Have a lovely evening. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you guys. Peace. Bye.